Hey, it's Dr. Trish Leigh from the Neurofeedback Expert Program, and I'm back to talk to you about the psychology of purchasing to attract the right patients. Okay, what is the psychology of purchasing? Well, if you don't know this, there's a method to use mental triggers, like I said before, really to get people out of their own way so they'll actually invest in something that they want. And neurofeedback is state-of-the-art neuroscience meets technology, so it costs. So we really need to help people to move through the process, and it is a process, don't kid yourself, so they can learn about neurofeedback, really get interested in it, want it, and then be willing to spend money on it. And I always tell the story about when I first bought my neurofeedback system because I had to make that same decision myself. So I know how that feels. I can empathize with my patients, and so can you. Okay, so the idea is that we use mental triggers to help people move through the process. I'm going to share 2 of my favorites, even though there are 9 of them. If you join us for the Neurofeedback Expert Program, you'll learn all 9 and how and where to use them. So the first is called curiosity. And you know what they say, curiosity killed the cat. So the process of helping people psychologically learn about it, want it, and then have a great neurofeedback experience involves making them curious what their brain map would say. And everybody wants to know what's going on in their brain, especially when you teach them how brains work. So the idea is you want them to know that our brains have brain speeds. Our brains are supposed to go from extra slow when we're sleeping to slow when we're falling asleep, medium speed when we're chilling, fast speed or optimal processing when we're in the zone and we're thinking, and extra fast speed when we're stressed out. But our brains are supposed to be able to shift between those speeds seamlessly. If a brain is not shifting between those speeds, it is jammed in a gear. You need to teach them why and how. That's what the brain map shows. Everybody wants to know if their brain is jammed in a gear and how they can unjam that gear through neurofeedback. It's literally scientifically proven to unjam the gears in a person's brain. You need to communicate that to the person. So the idea is you want to create curiosity around what does their brain map say. That's step 1. You don't need to teach them everything about neurofeedback yet. You need to make them interested in what their brain map would say. And we'll cross the bridge about neurofeedback in a little while once we, convince them to come on in and get their brain map taken so that they can see what their brain is doing. The second one is social proof. You need to prove to people that you're not the only one in the world who knows about neurofeedback and you didn't build that computer system in your basement. And a great way to do that is to use social proof. And a way that I do that is I share a Harvard website, and you can Google it right now at Harvard Science in the News, ADHD, neurofeedback. And what you'll find is a really awesome article written by a top-notch Harvard neuroscientist saying that neurofeedback is the wave of the future in treating brain-based challenges, which is just about anything these days. And we'll talk more about that in the future. But now the person knows, wow, Harvard's studying this. And they can go to the website. It's not you endorsing it. It is a top level 1 university saying neurofeedback is awesome and people should check it out. That's social proof. Okay, moving on. Why? Why do we use the psychology of purchasing? We have to illuminate the gap. We have to show people where they are, the struggles that they have, the symptoms they are suffering with. Then we have to show them what their full potential could look like. Then we have to present that gap to them. There's a gap between where they are and where they want to be. And neurofeedback can bridge that gap. And like I already said, it's one of the only things proven to help people with most of the challenges that they come in to see us for, like anxiety, ADHD, depression. Medications do nothing for those symptoms. They are a Band-Aid. They might help you out in crisis in the short run, but they are proven not to change the brain pattern that is causing those neurological issues. So you need to help people see that if they actually want to fix the underlying neurological problem behind their symptoms, neurofeedback is the only thing that's going to do it. You need to illuminate that gap. And we are not selling cars here. People know that they need a car when they need a car. When people have ADHD or anxiety or other challenges, they just know what they don't want. They know what they don't want, medication, or perhaps they don't want to go to another psychologist or counselor because they've done that and they found that it hasn't helped them that much. You have to show them that QEEG brain mapping is like an x-ray of their brain. It can show them what's causing the problems. And it literally acts like a map to be able to show them where they are and where you can get them if you optimize that brain pattern. So we are not selling cars. We have to educate, inspire, and empower. It's part of the job. It's part of the gig. Where do we use psychological mental triggers? Everywhere in our process. And again, if you join us in the Neurofeedback Expert Program, I'm going to teach you what they are and where to use them. And it works. And they're just buried in the process. In the Neurofeedback Expert Program, you'll see that it's videos of me teaching you how to use these. There's literally videos of me doing every step of our process. How do we use mental triggers? We use them with love. My staff and I are constantly talking about the patients that we're trying to attract to us. We want to attract value purchasers who are willing to spend money on these state-of-the-art neurotechnological services. Those are the people we want to draw to us. So the idea is we really love working with these people because we can really produce wonderful outcomes for them. They need us more than we need them. So the bottom line is not making money, but of course, the way the world works is we have to have, the money is the energy that we transpire between us so that we can be in a relationship. The money has to change hands so our relationship can begin. It's just the way that it works in today's day and age. So when that money exchanges hands, we're now in a relationship helping that person to get better faster so they can feel and perform great. So we use them with love. Don't forget to use them with love. And lastly, who are we using these mental triggers with? We are not using them with everyone. And you've probably heard the adage that if you try to attract everyone, you will appeal to no one. And that is the truth. So you need to determine who's your ideal customer avatar, who's the perfect person that you would like to work with, and go after them. In my office, it's children with ADHD and developmental delays, and kids who have anxiety also, but also adults who struggle with anxiety. And we joke all the time. We are our avatars. We have 6 children. We own multiple businesses. Each of our 6 kids have different brains and different deals. So we are stressed out. Thankfully not that stressed out, but we have the potential. Stressed out small business owners with a gaggle of children. So that's who we like to work with. Kids and people who struggle with anxiety because they're trying to perform at peak performance. We also work with a lot of people with tinnitus, people with misophonia. That's become a niche for us because I have a background in audiology, so I love attracting those people to me. We also work with people with neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, motor disorders, but I don't advertise for that. Those people find me. So if you remember how brains work and how you're going to communicate it to your patients, brains when they're running too slow create ADHD. When a brain is running too fast, it creates anxiety. So we market for ADHD and anxiety because all the other brain patterns fall in between. So we kind of cover both ends of the spectrum. In the reality, if you remember how brain patterns work, most people with ADHD, the brain automatically compensates and their brain starts running fast, so they tend to have anxiety also. So advertising for ADHD and anxiety just works to draw in many other people. But if you love to work with athletes, then look up the science on athletes. You can look at my website at Leigh Brain and Spine, because we've been compiling some of the research to show how well neurofeedback works for peak performance. It's awesome. We work with kids with sensory processing disorder. The science is there too. So if you love that, go for it. If you really like working with pain, many chiropractors have been focused on pain for so long that that's what they are really good at. Neurofeedback is awesome. Pain is actually in every area of the brain, so you really need a map to see where the pain receptors are not firing and wiring properly. So anything that you're interested in, go for that niche, but do not try to go for everyone. Okay, stay with me because in the next slide, we're gonna keep thinking about the 8 keys that you need for permanent success. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel below so that I can send you inspiration on a weekly basis on how to change brains, improve